Hello, this is Lee with 82 Game and 12, and we're back for video 28 over my playthrough of Eylau 1807. This is a Sound of Drums game. Excuse me. Designer Uwe Walentin, and the graphics Marc van Marshall, and then all of the other credits are found in the description below the video, so you can click that on and see all that information. Plus I've got some links there. I have a link for Sound of Drums. We develop and publish thrilling historic board games, and you can find out more about them at soundofdrumsgames.com, so check them out. And of course you can find Sound of Drums games at many different gaming sites. And we have Chessex. Find out about what they have other than dice at chessex.com. That's a set there they've got. That's called their lab dice, because it's got that lab symbol there, that beaker. And I have that there because of the dice that you can purchase that has, they're specially made for this game, with the Eylau 1807 on the dice, and the coat of arms, standard bearer for each army. So check that out. So we've gone so far 27 videos. This will be 28. And this game, if you're playing solo, will take some time. Won't take as long as I've taken, because I'm doing a lot of talking in between. And I've probably got, you could probably almost cut these videos in half if I just stuck straight to just playing and didn't do any explaining and just talking generally about odd things. Sometimes I talk about relevant things, but a lot of times I'm off talking about irrelevant things. So just a beautiful, beautiful map that really gives you the feel of the weather at that period, February the 8th, 1807. And I just like the way that the map's done, the colors. There's not a lot of color. There's a lot of change in the hues of the colors used, but not in the variety of colors per se. And the maps are very functional. They're easy to read. And I'm one of the fans of having the leader images on the counter. And what's special about this game is that you get a variety provided to you. So you have the leader counters with the image, okay, of the leader, and then you have the counters that don't have the image. Okay. And I don't use those. I didn't punch them out, so they're still in the box. And then you have the different type of step loss counters. I like the ones that just Each counter is a separate number. Okay, you flip it over, it's another number. That's the ones I like. Then you have the what is it? The Poly. Is that what it's called? Poly. I think it talks about it here at some point. I've never seen it. Yeah, Pollard marker. The only thing about the Pollard, I'll show you a picture of the Pollard. Okay, right there. Is with my play, you know, I'm kind of got an unsteady hand, so I'm constantly, when I'm picking something up, I'm dropping it or, you know, turning stuff over, and then it's like, well, I don't remember. You know, I'd even be okay with just having a order of battle, you know, type of a step loss sheet, that you kept track of the step losses on a sheet. You know, I know some other games that do that. I think the Gamers, excuse me, the Gamers Napoleonic Brigade system and their Civil War Brigade system both use that. Just due to the fact that it would be easier for me to hold on to the counters and move stuff around without the added counter underneath that's tracking the step loss, just because of my shaky hand. So, of course, that's not provided. Someone could easily just make their own. You could just use the order of battle that's provided, and you could easily do that. And that might be something that I do in the future, just because it would help me, and you know, when you're going to do your whether it's firing or assaulting charges, you know, you're taking a pretty good look at the counter anyways. So looking down at the counter and then turning around and looking over at the sheet's not that big a deal. But so you get some choices, which is nice when you have choices. And this company's giving you some different choices in how you want to do your step losses, and also which leader type counters you want to use. So I think with the image on there, they stand out, so it's easy to see where your leaders are at. Okay, and then of course the heart of the system is this over here, which is the Army order, activation, and fatigue chart. So, and it keeps track of everything there for you. It makes it very orderly, so you can easily look to see what order the division has, how many activations they've had, and of course it gives the limitations, restrictions after each further activation, all of that. And of course you've got your Army fatigue here, so it's all organized very nicely, and it's so simple. It's the mechanic, okay, what it's controlling is complicated, but this here, the way it's set up and designed, makes it so simple. So it takes so much complexity out of a command system, and so it's like engineered into the game through these charts for each army. And so if you've been watching, I don't know if I've really illustrated the use of that. I've tried to, hopefully it gets through to you that this right here is what drives the game. Okay, this is what makes it so unique, and also I think makes it so interesting to play. And it's simple. You know, the explanation and the rules is simple. Like I said, the rules are not very long. They're straightforward, they're concise, and the wording is what's key. Paying attention to the wording. And Uwe's done a wonderful job with that, and his creation of the order mechanics, and you know, the activation of those divisions, and then on top of that the arm and fatigue, which is basically also dealing with morale in a way that you don't even have to deal with. You don't have to deal with any morale markers, which further clutters the board and makes my gameplay so much more difficult because of my unsteady hand. So that may be something that you might be like, well, there's no morale markers. There's no morale on the units. There's not. You don't need any of that. You know, we have stand. You know, rolls. We have hold rolls that deal with. The morale is all built into the rules, the mechanics, and of course, army fatigue. So I'm excited about future volumes, and I'm not as a Napoleonic fan, especially at the tactical level. I'm not really leaning one way or other which battle. You know, I'm just excited to have another volume to enjoy, another battle to enjoy. So, you know, whatever is chosen is fine with me. I'm just excited to hear some news about they've decided on this and they're going to go with this and they're going to start production, and which means, you know, the sooner they start production, the sooner, you know, I'm going to have it on my table. But of course, I do want them to take time to do it right and to follow in the footsteps of Volume 1. And, you know, that's where you'll see some clarifying of the rules. Okay. Just remember, other Napoleonic tactical systems, when they first started, there's a growing period. Okay? There's a period of the rules being clarified, defined, you know, and all of that happens as the system grows. I've already mentioned about La Bataille. You know, how many systems are there? How many different systems are there? Okay, rule systems. Okay, that's so complicated. Okay, but there's discrepancies. Okay, because of, I think, because of some of the ways the original rules were. I know when I got my first La Bataille game, which was the Battle of Arstock. You know, I was so frustrated with trying to figure some things out, and that was my first tactical, very detailed tactical system. And one of the things that I really struggled with was the fact that there was no command whatsoever. So this here, you know, the command system drives the game. So, all right, let's get going. Enough yakking here, 14 minutes of that. So, just again, if you see these purple blocks, those are not part of the game. Those are for me. I use that to know specifically where I can look out and say, okay, there's Bennigsen, here's Napoleon. That way I know where they're at all times. And I do that because sometimes, see, right here, Napoleon's stacked with right here with 4 different other leaders, okay? So when I'm looking along the map, he doesn't stand out as much as I want him to. So that's why I use these blocks. And I have a link to where I bought my blocks, okay? Well, some of these blocks here I bought at Michael's, but I bought some other blocks for a game that I'm developing, and those blocks came from the company that I put in the link. So, and they're on eBay. So check them out if you want some blocks. Check them out. It's a good place, cheap, quick shipment, hassle-free. So go check them out. You just have to read the information there at the bottom of the video. Okay, so I believe the last activation I had was a French activation. So far the French have activated 6, the Russian only 3. Okay, so there's been a 2-to-1 activation here. And if we look out here, just a quick recap here. We've had Golitzin has activated twice with his center cavalry. Okay, let's get a little closer over there. So he's actually been able to swing around, and he's working his way around to try to envelop Davout's forces. They tried to charge the square, which didn't work, of course. And so I've activated them twice. Okay, and then I activated Kamenskoy or Kamensky's. I say Kamensky because that's the way it's spelled on the counter. I have seen it spelled with a K-O-Y. I believe that's the same individual. Kamenskoy, maybe. Kamenskoy or or K-Manskoy. I call it Kamensky. So he's activated once and was able to cause, well, at least, let's see, how come this guy's turned that way? Did I turn him that way? I guess I did. He was able to cause, let's see, pull back a little bit, this unit here to retreat. And I thought there was another one, but maybe not. But, yeah, Davout has sent part of Friant's division, okay, they're moved on the march, okay, right here, okay, over to stop Golitzin's cavalry. So that's what basically going on. I had all 3 of Davout's divisions activated so they could do some maneuvering and moving up and so forth. And then we had Klein's cavalry did a few charges, which didn't work. And they're kind of moving toward Davout's rear to give some support. So he's kind of moved over in this area just so he can start to move over here if need be. And then the French other activation was with Bessieres, and they were successful in capturing 2 batteries and forcing some of Lestocq's cavalry to retreat. So, and let's see, with the Russians, I already mentioned them. So that's where we're at. All right, so let's draw us a cube and get started. And it's green, so it might be kind of hard to see in that light. But definitely green. All right, so now we pull back. I'm trying to figure out what the best way to do with that light. It all depends on what part of the map we're looking at. I'd really like to have a system where I could have my camera overhead looking down instead of this angle like I've got. And I'd really like to have a really long necked camera holder where then I could do that. I'll just have to look into that. I had one, but it didn't have a very long neck. So, all right. So we've got Golden Scene over here is already activated twice, and Kaminsky's activated once. So we've got. Let's see. We've got. Let me change my glasses. Looks like something's not right here. I'm not seeing very well. My new glasses are line bifocals. My old ones are no line, and the no line is what I have to use. You know, you hit 40, the eyesight goes to pot, and which, you know, I'm 15 years past that point. 55. So we've got 5th Division Reserve, right wing cavalry reserve, and of course Lestock. So I think what we want to do is we want to worry about hitting them. Plus we have the 4th Division, so we want to get our attacks in before we try to do some of this anything else. Which that's what I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Who's this here? Oh, hold. And most everyone else has a hold or defend. So, okay, so we've got 7th Division. No, 4th Division. 4th and 5th. Okay, so that's all going to be over here. So I've got 5th Division and 4th Division. So that's what we're going to go with. We're going to go with the 5th Division, which is right here. Tushkov. So we're going to go with Tushkov here. And so yeah. Okay, so one thing I want to do, okay, these two guys I want to flip over. Now those are both grenadiers. If you look at the symbol, they're both grenadiers, but they're not elite. Okay, so this is their first activation, so there's no reduction in their movement. So I moved to change to column. That's change of formation. So that was 1, and we're thinking about maybe we want to get back up here and keep control of the windmill hill. Okay. So, but I don't think they're going to be able to get there. Yeah. So Okay, but we can move to get in a position where we can be able to do something, I think. So let's see, I'm going to split them up. So, okay, that was 1 to change formation, 2, 3. And then he's going to go 4 right there because he's going to be attacking Lavelle. Okay, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remember, when you move adjacent to a French unit, it costs 2 extra movement points. So 1 to change formation, that's 2, that's 3, and then 4 for the hex, and then 5, 6 for moving adjacent to a French unit. Okay, so 1, 2, okay. 1 for the formation change, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. He's changing to line right there. Okay. And let's see, we've got these 2 artillery units. Plus this one here. One of them, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we want to stop right here. This one joined. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what we can do is we can get on top of here with Tuchkov. Okay, and then we'll have a line of sight over some of this stuff. So, okay, both of these, of course, they can use the road. They can even get closer, like right there. Or if I move these guys, they can even get more closer. So let's move those guys first. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Yeah, we're gonna just move these guys. They're in column. They're just gonna come right down the hill here. Right there. And then I can move these pieces here. On a road, it's half movement. So this is half. So that's a full 1 point, and then you got uphill. So 1.5 actually, and then here would be 2, 2.5, and then we could change 3, 4 right there. All right. Let's see here. I guess I'm gonna want to move both of these guys. Just turn, go 1, 2, 3, going down slow, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they go right there. Okay. This guy here, 1, 2, we're gonna move here, and then this guy here. So 1, 2, 3, right there. Okay, this gun turns over, that's 2, 3, 4, 4. Well, go ahead and go in there 5. And then Tushkov. It's going to slide across there. All right. So now I'm going to have here and here attack here. Okay. So all right, so Lavelle is in line. Okay. So the only target he has to fire at is the one right here. So I don't believe these other targets that he has, which would be this unit, not this or this, would factor in. I think it's just the one that's actually attacking him and not just some units that are just there. So look over here at the assault. Yeah, if the hex is assaulted, charged by several stacks, the defender has to split his defensive fire. So it would have to split it if those units were assaulting. They're not assaulting. Let me put this on Tushkov's activation column. Okay, so his fire will be directed at this hex. Okay, he's got a strength of 8, okay, but only 4 can fire out of that hex. So it's going to be 4 times 2, which is going to be 8. Okay, it's defensive fire, that's plus 1. And then, of course, the defender is in column, so that's going to be another plus 1. So we'll be looking at a plus 2. Roll an 8, becomes a 10. Okay, so that's a hit. So this unit here is now taken. Another hit. So I'll put that on top. Okay, so now we're ready for the assault itself. Okay, and so the top unit has taken 2 losses, so they have a strength of 3. The bottom is strength of 4, so we're at 7 plus 5 at the back here. So that's 12. And I already determined that the defender has 8 strength. Okay. And he's in line. Okay, so we got 12 to 8. Okay, and so that's going to be rounded up to 2 and 1. So that's minus 1. No one's elite. Well, no, no one's elite. That elite unit here is not involved. Okay, it's this unit here. And Tushkov didn't have any elite units. Okay. Defender's not a leader green. Okay, now they do have, let's see, but they have retire orders. That's a -3. So now we're at a -4. Assaulted for more than 1 hex, that's another -1, so we're at -5. Okay. They are charged to the rear, so that's another -2, so we're at -7. We do have one of the assaulting units was lost an SP due to fire, so that's a +1. So now we're at a -6. And we have, of course, the defender has the leader, so that would be a -4. Well, yeah, I guess if we'd have to roll a 12. Nope, rolled a 5. All right, so they're going to take a loss and retreat. All right, so okay, so this is the attacker and this was the attacker. Let me put that back on. Okay, so we don't want to retreat to that hex, so we'd have to go to that one. And so we take 1 loss from the assault result. Now as we retreat into this hex, we're going to take another loss, because if you retreat into a frontal hex of an enemy unit, then you take a loss when you're retreating. All right, so they are now at 3. Okay, and movement of 4. So that's, let's see, they went 1, 2, 3, and then 4. That's where they're going to retreat to. And and then, let's see, I think I'm going to move this stack here in. They're not able to change formation, but they can change their facing by, I believe it's a hex side 60 degrees. So, all right, so that was a successful assault, getting some losses and pushing Lavelle out, although they were more hopeful of maybe encircling him. Let's see what happens next. Ooh, another activation by the Russians. So I could activate them again. They're really in a better position than Somov. I've been pronouncing, I think, Somnov. It's just Somov or something of that nature. Somov. And of course, I've got Lestok and Korth. So basically, the 4. Let's see. I think they've got 1, 2. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so they've got a total of 6 divisions that are attacking, that have attack orders. And so 4 of them over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the other 2 are over there on the other wing. So basically the Russians are holding in the center and attacking the flanks. So, and what do we want to do? We want to try to exploit that over here, or do we want to tie up their cavalry? I think that's what we want to do. See, we can attack Bessier's. Some of his cavalry they've already attacked. So now we can hit back, possibly. Yeah, the Russians are gonna activate Korf. And his right wing cavalry here. So all right, so first thing is this 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I got to mark the ones that are out of command here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this unit back there, okay, is out of command. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that one is out of command. This one here. 1, 2, 3, 4. That one's not. So, okay. So I've got 2 that are out of command. Everyone else is in command. So the cuirassiers are out of command. They're going to have to move back this way. Or Korf is going to have to come this way. But I think I need to keep Korf where he's at. Hussars, these hussars here. Okay. 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5. So they come right in there. And of course, just so you know where we're at, we've got this cavalry unit has to decide whether they want to countercharge, reaction charge, what it's called, reaction charge, or just stand. Now, if they stand, additional cavalry units could possibly enter into the fray here. So, well, if they don't countercharge, additional cavalry units can enter. And now they're locked. They really can't. They can't countercharge anymore. So the French are gonna countercharge. They're kind of gonna be at a disadvantage by doing that. But the odds are gonna be even. But of course, the short charge, which that's what a reaction charge is, it gives the defender a +2. But that's the only modifier they're going to get. So +2. No other modifiers are going to apply. So and they have to roll 8 or higher. So 2 dice. Eight, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's 7 opportunities to fail, 5 to succeed. You know, if they stand or hold the ground, not stand but hold, then they will be the ones holding the short end of the stick. So they're gonna countercharge right here. We're gonna have a countercharge here. So basically when you do that, it would be this. Okay, green is usually the attacker. Now I don't always switch the blocks, okay? But remember, the blocks are only for your benefit most of the time. I'm using this block here to let me know he's out of range, and this one's out of range. Now you could use a lot of different things. You could use pennies, dimes, whatever. But I just like to use the blocks. So some of the blocks are for your benefit. Other times the blocks are for mine. So normally the green block is for the attacking unit, and the red is for the target, the defender. But you know, most of the time I won't change the blocks around. I would just, you know, say, hey, okay, now we got a reaction charge. So the initial attacker was the hussars, okay, and the defender was the chasseurs Avel, okay. Chavel. So that's what we have. So now we have the chasseurs Chavel are now attacking, reacting to that charge that's coming, and so they charge. So we have a +2. Okay. No other modifiers are, well, let's see. Yeah, none of the other modifiers are going to apply. Both have attack orders, so there's no minus plus for that. And there's only these units involved. There's no green or elite units and no leaders. So the Russian has to roll. They get a +2, which really kind of gives them, gives them a benefit because they can roll now. They can roll 6, so it's about 50-50. They got a 50-50 chance of succeeding and being able to hold. Ooh, I rolled a 12. Wow. So that's a 14, which is going to cause the French chasseurs Cheval to lose a step and then retreat. So they're going to retreat half of their movement, and then they're going to become tired. So I'll go ahead and flip them over. So they're going to retreat. Actually, they're retreating 4 hexes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, back to here. And then this unit becomes tired. And let me look at this to see if I go ahead and when you have that reaction charge, of course you do the results. So it says the reaction charge is resolved after the moving unit ends its movement. And it has to end its movement adjacent to an enemy unit. So and then the only issue is, okay, do you go ahead and move that unit in, Or do you wait until the rest of the assaults or so forth are finished? Possibly just wait. But you know, you could do it either way. You know, I think you would just agree between players that with a reaction charge, you go ahead and move it in. And I go ahead and see this unit was attempting to charge. So even though it was reaction charge, I still go ahead and flip it over because it was in the process. It was running up there, you know. Horses were galloping, so I think I'm going to wait and let that. Well, no. I guess I'd go ahead and move it in. So, and of course they want to turn like that, and when they do, now this unit here could possibly, although they have a strength of only 3, but of course this unit is finished, so it can't contribute. So this unit, I think they're like that. So, but they could reaction charge, but it's going to be 3 against 8. Okay, that I think is going to round to 1 to 3, which they couldn't do. So that solves that issue. All right, so now let's take a look at the rest of what we're going to do here. We've got other things to move. And so we've got this unit here is going to go to here. So, and this reaction, this cavalry unit there is kind of locked, so they're not going to be able to reaction charge. Of course, this is the rear, so they're moving into the rear. So this unit moves to there, so that's uphill. So that's uphill's 1, into the hex is 2, and then moving adjacent to French units 3, 4. So right there. And you know, of course, this back here is artillery unit, and they're not facing the correct position. And let's see, this guy here is a 7. So 7. So his target is the artillery. And the cavalry unit here has to decide whether they want to, which no, I guess they can't, because this unit is adjacent to them, so they can't. Or at least that's the way I've been playing it. But he's tired, so maybe he can now. Okay, but the odds are 3 to 7, so I guess that would round to only 1 to 2. So I guess we could do that. We could go 1 to 2. He's got to try to save the 1 to 2. Try to save those guns. So, what do I do with that block? So I think, yeah, I think I would allow that, because those cavalry units are exhausted. They just got through attacking some. So, yeah. All right, so we're gonna go. This regiment here is going to charge these dragoons. Pursuers versus their dragoons. Now the dragoons have a 7, and we got 3 here. So that's going to be 1 to 2. It doesn't round up. So 1 to 2. That's a +2. They are Russian. So that's a +1. So now we're at +3. Let's see. The assaulting unit, short distance. So now we're at +2 more, and we're going uphill. That's another +2. So they're going to fail. But by charging them, even by failing, I'm stopping their charge. So, okay. So yeah, so they're gonna fail, but in their failure, they stop the charge. All right, so they're gonna lose 1. I'm not gonna have to roll it's gonna be so high. Okay, so they are able to stop this charge and flip it to tired. And of course, they're going to take a loss and have to retreat. Half is 4. Flip them over though. So they're going to go 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that. So they went back to here with this where this other regiment went to. But they are successful in stopping those dragoons from charging the artillery. All right, so now let's see here. Here is the I guess I would say this is where I say that you have one of the benefits of where not every single detail is explained or dealt with in the rules. You know, because you're going to come across some things possibly that you just have to work through. Okay, some things that were not specifically answered, and you come across this in every rule book for every game. You come across things that like, oh well, what do I do here? You know, everything's. But do I want a rule book that's 60, 80 pages? You know, that's that's so complicated. Hey, I don't mind. Hey, you come across something that hey, I don't really find a specific answer in the rules, but I can take what's there and I can think through it and say, okay, this would be allowed. Or you think about, in reality, you know, what seems like the, I got to turn like that. What is what is the answer that makes the most sense? So you also have to think, okay, even though the turn is an hour, this activation is not taking a whole hour. Okay. This activation, if you take the 3 possible activations, you know, so you're looking at about 20 minutes. Okay. 20 minutes here, but over here you got the same thing. All of the, basically, so all of the, so we just have to take the total number of activations we have, you know, and then divide that into, you know, how many of those are going to, of those activations are taking place in the first 20 minutes, you know, and so forth. So, going a little too deep for my non-mathematical mind. Okay, so I won't go down that rabbit hole. So anytime, I know there's some games where you have the charging cavalry, if they succeed or are successful in, you know, a reaction, okay, then they can keep going. Okay, like if you have a reaction charge, and you know, if they are successful in blunting that reaction charge, then they can keep attacking. I would think that no, you know, they're going to be, you know, limited in what they could then do, because you know they're having to take time and energy in now facing, you know, this other threat, and so they're not going to have the same momentum. They'd have to start basically charges starting all over again. Okay, which to me would be a different activation, which can't occur in this game. Can't occur. So with other games, you move the units, they're done. Okay, you can't move anymore that turn. Okay, here we've got 3 possible activations. So, you know, if we get another Russian cube drawn, boom, they can charge that those guns right there with where Josef is at, and they're going to be destroyed. You know, but if they don't, if the French get the cube, but Josef has, did I get his orders changed? No. See, Josef has hold orders. Okay, now, man, I should be, yeah, they should have had a modifier. They can still reaction charge, but yeah, I can't charge with them. But they would get, if they, okay, but let's see, they both of those were reaction charges, so they don't get that hold. But if they were to hold instead of reaction, they get that +1 for being in a hold order. So, all right, I was looking at the defender, which would reaction reverses to the opposite side. So that's over your head. I'm sorry. It may be under your feet, not over your head. It's such a low level cognitively that it's so irrelevant or unimportant that you're just walking right over it. So, let's see here. Now, with charges that are adjacent, okay, those I'm not really allowing the reaction, because the reaction charge is if a unit moves into a front hex. Here they're not moving into the hex; they're already there. So, plus they're getting penalized for the short charge. So, now, one thing I would think about is, okay, you know how, but I'm going to give you the example right here. Okay, so right here, it's all cavalry. Okay, so I've got, which I'm going to move some other units, but this is where we might have say a reaction charge. But see, reaction charge is taking place during the movement, not during the assault, right? So, but what I'm going to look at here, and I'll talk about that later. Maybe I don't want to bring it up right now because it's not relevant during the movement. Okay, so reaction is going to occur during the movement phase. So, and then with Korf here, see, he's in this marsh. Okay, so you can't attack into or out of that marsh. Okay, so I'm thinking that, okay, that would be like if he was going to charge from here into this hex. But if he comes into this hex and then continues his charge, well, maybe that would also be, maybe he needs to move further out, or maybe he needs to start his whole activation outside of the marsh before he charges. So no charge into or out of. So you can't charge into it, you can't charge out of it. So, and I look at that as if the French were here, you can't charge, you're in the marsh, you can't charge, but if you leave the marsh, okay, and you're in a regular hex, then you could go ahead and charge. But of course, they have to roll, of course, those Cossacks cannot charge a frontal hex of infantry or unlimbered artillery. And in order to charge other cavalry, they've got to do a special roll. So really, I'm just using him to block any kind of movement out of there. So what do we got here? All right, so we're going to move to here. And, okay, before we do that movement, this unit could possibly decide, see, I'm going to have a different color here, I guess, since I've already placed some markers. I'll just use this white. Okay, so there's the unit that's fixing to move. This infantry unit has to decide, okay, as that unit's getting ready to move, whether they want to go to square or not. Okay, now there's a pretty good chance they're going to fail, because when they do that square roll, okay, distance of enemy cavalry is 2 hexes. Okay, so that's a -2. And we have to get 8 or more to succeed. They are elite, so that's another +2. So now we're at even. So, but still, 8 or more. Okay, that's 5. Okay, to 7. Okay, 7 opportunities for failure, 5 to pass. Okay. But if they don't, they're going to be overrun, lose 2, and retreat. That's just what you face. If they go to square, they're pretty much, you know, protected from charges. Okay, we've already seen that in a prior activation over there with Golitzin's, one of his Hussars tried to follow through on a charge into a square and failed. So and historically, charging into a square rarely ever broke the square. So, you know, they do have the +2, but there's going to be a -2. So again, like I said, they've got to get 8 or more to succeed. I think they're going to rely on the cavalry that is adjacent to them to do their job. So they're not gonna try to go to square. Okay. So I'm actually gonna turn this over here. Alright. So let's back up a little bit. And maybe I need to pull back a little bit. Yeah. Okay, so now we can see all of his units. And we're seeing them more from Korf's viewpoint, the Russian viewpoint. All right, so they decided not, that battalion of chasseurs decided they're going to rely on Josef's cavalry here to defend them. So I'm going to move into here, right there, and they are going to reaction charge. So they've got 7 to 5. Seven to 5. And with reaction charge, they don't get a defensive fire here. So let me use the blue and the orange since I've got so much red and green out there. Okay, so here's the charging unit, and then that's the reaction unit. Okay, so basically what I need to do is I need a different. Do I have another color? I don't think I do. At least not here with this. With whatever. Oh yeah, I do. Got a brown. I really wanted something other than the brown. But we'll go with a brown. I got a big wood color. Okay, so this is his target. Oh well, we don't know what his target is. It's not defined. Okay, it could be here or here. Okay, but this unit here, reaction charges, because this cavalry unit moved into this unit's frontal hex. Okay. Now the cost for this unit to move in there, remember, is 1 for the hex and then 2 for moving adjacent. But it's got plenty of movement potential. So moves in there, and we have the reaction charge. So this unit's going here. So we've got 5 against 7. Okay. That's just going to be 1 to 1. It's not even going to be 2 to 1. 1 to 1. Okay. Now the Russian gets a +1. I don't know if that applies only to like infantry, but okay, they get a +1. Okay, no one is elite or green. Okay, the Russians have a attack order. So right now it's just a +1. Okay. And right here. So the only other thing is going to be the short distance. So that's +2. So actually it's going to be a +3. But what we're doing is we're stopping them from being able to charge that infantry battalion. All right, so I got a 7. Okay. So, now wait a minute, why did I retreat? I should not have been retreating with these reaction charges, because they were the attacker. So, oops. So, they would have just stayed where they're at. This guy wouldn't have been able to move in. This guy would have just stayed. And they only get a loss if it was 10 or more. I don't remember what the losses were. So that was a big foul up there. What was I doing? They were reacting. So they just stay there. They don't have to retreat. They just might take a loss. Okay. I'm glad I caught that. I guess I was thinking they were retreating because normally they would have, but they reaction charge. So that's one of the benefits of reacting, doing a reaction charge, is the fact that you're not going to be retreating. So basically, what happens is you create either you force the attacker to retreat, or you've got a standstill, okay, where the two forces come together and then they're just kind of intermingled and trying to, they're just fighting saber to saber type of thing, and then pulling back away from each other and deciding whether or not to pull out of there or to go back into it. So yeah, they were reacting charging, so they would not have retreated. If they had not reaction charged, of course, yeah, if they would have lost, then of course they would have been forced to retreat. So glad I caught that. All right, so see, I rolled a 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so right here, because it's a 10, they do have to take a loss, and they have to flip to their tired side. Okay, and then this unit here has to flip, but he didn't take a loss, but he stopped, and he's not able to attack or charge, to follow through. Okay, so now we move on, and we've still got we've got this unit here. We've got these dragoons back here. Now these grenadiers are tired, so they can't reaction charge. So yeah, we're going to try to gang up on that one. So we're going to turn right there. That's 1, 2, 3. Go ahead and bring this one in. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this Cossack is going to roll to try to join. Okay, and so when We've got Cossacks. Okay. So it's got to be greater than 8. So 9, 10, 11, or 12. And I got an 8, so no, they can't join in. All right. So we've got, let me get some blue and an orange here. Blue. That's what I like to use. Okay, so we've got these 2 regiments against Bessieres, and then over here we've got these 2 against this unit here. And here is just a question. Okay, it's not. I don't have an issue. It's just a question. Okay, so in this instance here, okay, where we have this unit here that is not tired, okay, and okay, it's adjacent to a charging unit, but it's not being charged itself. Okay, if they were infantry, okay, then they would have opportunity fire. And that's something that you see in most of the games. I know with the Eagle system, you know, Rising Eagles, Last Eagles, so forth. Okay, with Hexism, they have the same type of rule, whether it be infantry or I think artillery. Maybe it's just infantry. Let me take a look here. That's artillery fire. Okay, here we go. And this is, what is this? Okay, that's fire combat. I want to go over here to the assault. Okay, so units adjacent, says just units. Units adjacent to the charging units that have not been or will not be assaulted, they themselves may execute 1 defensive fire according to the fire combat rules. So, units, okay. So that would be infantry or artillery. Now, then I would say, okay, what about cavalry? You know, we have opportunity to fire. What about an opportunity charge where you're trying to draw off some of those? So basically, you're not trying, you're going to. You know, you could possibly sacrifice some units. But of course, if they had, you know, there was a unit here that wasn't, okay, say here, that was a Russian unit that was here, then of course they wouldn't be able to, okay? But here they don't. That's the only, so they could perform what would be called an opportunity charge, much like the opportunity fire, where you're firing to assist. And I'm sure I've come across this type of issues other times as well. But again, a charge cannot be performed as quickly, okay, as fire. Okay, so even though, you know, the hexes are 150 yards, okay, in that hex, where are those units? Okay. So, you know, this is not shaped like a rectangle as a football field is. It's a hex, not a square or rectangle. So, and you count up the number of units, okay. And maybe that's why cavalry doesn't have the, because remember, we're dealing with 20, possibly about 20 minutes of time. Okay, not per activation, but 20 minutes possible of activation for just that unit. Okay, at the same time, there's other units still, you know, doing the same thing. So it basically, you could say, well, the game, each hour is divided into 3 possible activations for every unit, every division. Okay, even though they're not all going to get 3 activations. Most of them won't even get 1. All right, so I forgot what I was looking up now. But so if I'm looking at the scale, so we're talking about not 150 yards, but 150 meters of actual terrain, and each strength point of cavalry is 50 horses, 50 men. Okay, so what we have here is these guys have 8. That's about what, 400 men. Okay, and riders in 150 meters. So roughly about 3 per meter. Okay, meters, what, you got about 3 feet. Okay, it's more than 3 feet actually. Is that right? Yeah, like a yardstick. Yeah. So they're kind of in there, packed in there, aren't they? 400 riders. So yeah, they are packed in there. But getting them to move is not, it takes time for the horse to get going. Okay. So, you know, I can understand, you know, the lack of an opportunity charge. Unlike when you're seeing units approaching, then you're getting, you know, you can begin to get your movement. Once they get in there, then you bam, you know, bam. What's that cook that does that bam all the time? All right. So let's get to these. I just wanted to bring that up just for conversation, or just for maybe some discussion. So we've got Corf, right wing. Okay. So I don't know why I was like retreating those guys. Wasn't really thinking, I guess. Like I said, I've got so many rules rolling around in my head. So let's go here with Bessieres. And, of course, we'll put him right there. Okay. Wow. If he's got to retreat, he's got nowhere really to go. He would force this guy back. This guy would have to move here, and then possibly move here and here. So, okay. All right, so we've got 9. Okay. Here we've got 3 and 9. That's 12. 12 against 9. That's just going to be 2 to 1. I mean, 1 to 1. So we've got 1 to 1. The defender has attack orders. Okay, but they are elite. Okay, so that's +1. And they're being charged for more than 1 hex, so that's -1. So we're at 0. They don't have a flank, and they're not in the rear. The attackers are not going to get any bonuses, so I think we're just straight up even. So, yeah. But Bessieres is there, so that's going to be a +2. Even though it's not on the table, I think he was left off by mistake, because the rules state that they are used in combat or assaulting, charging. They don't usually use the word combat, they use assault or charge. So they have it listed under the charging or assaulting unit, but I would think that, you know, because Wellington, for example, was an excellent defensive guru. I mean, he was a specialist in defense, and his placement of his troops and so forth. So, all right, so that means we're going to have +2. And that's it. So we have a +2. And we've got 9, 10, 11. So someone's taking a loss. I guess it'll be this one. And then that's where we're at. And these guys get flipped over. Kind of at a standstill there. Okay, now we go over to the other charge. And so we've got 6 and 8, so that's 14. And these hussars have 7. So that's going to be 2 to 1. That's -1. They have a hold order, so that's +1, so we're at 0. And -1 for being charged for more than 1 hex. And I think that's going to be it. They're not up a slope, so it's going to be a minus. Oh, wait a minute. So 2 to 1 is -1. Hold is +1 at 0. Okay, yeah, it's going to be a minus 1. Oh, it's going to be a loss and a retreat. I rolled a 4, so let's see. Ooh. And let's see here. Okay, so these guns so they take a loss. Okay. Now these guns can't be pushed out. Okay. Can't go here. Going there goes into this unit's front hex. This is occupied. The only open space is here, but then of course, where else will he go? You know, can't go there. He's got to go back this way. So, and he's got to go 4. So here'd be 3 loss, 4 losses. And he's still got 2 more. Well, of course, he could move those guys, but here he's moving this way. Here he's moving this way. Here he moves, he just moves this guy. Either way, he's going to have to move somebody back. Can't go here without destroying them. So, when you look at the retreat orders, this is why you need to be careful about having retreat lanes. But what happened was these dragoons came in and took away retreats. But of course, with these guns here, they're blocking any retreat. You can't just run over the guns. So, move away from assaulting enemy units. Avoid retreating to hex that brings the retreating unit closer to an enemy unit. Avoid retreating to any hex that is occupied by friendly units. Okay, so a unit may be put in any facing at the end of the movement. Okay, for some reason I was thinking they had to be in the same facing, but well, they don't. Okay. So southwest is where they should go. Okay, well, on this map, southwest is this way. Okay, up that way is north. To the other end of the map is west, so southwest is to that direction. All right. If a unit can't avoid moving adjacent to an enemy occupied hex, it loses 1 strength point each time it enters adjacent to an enemy unit. Doesn't say anything about facing of the enemy unit, just moving adjacent to it. If all a hex adjacent to an enemy unit that has to retreat is occupied by enemy units, the retreating unit surrenders and is eliminated. If eliminated, the owing player must pay 1 army fatigue. Okay, of course. 2, if the eliminated unit is a guard unit. So, okay, now they can push so of course they can't go here, but they could push this unit back to like here. Okay, so when they move to here, they're going to lose. Now they're at the 3. So let's replace that with a 3. Okay, and then they still have to push more. Okay, so we can move that unit there. Okay, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4. Of course, now I got to flip them over to tired. Okay. And both of these are flipped to tired. And then one of them can move into this hex. It's going to be this one. All right. So, that completes that activation. I've really screwed up my board here. Trying to put some notes on it. Wish I wouldn't have done that. There's tape. I'm going to put on turn into a nightmare. But oh well. Alright, so let's pull out another cube. And this one is going to be French. So let's turn around over here. And take a look. I had to, I guess my phone is telling me that my battery is running low, and so I'm gonna plug it up. There we go. But hopefully that wasn't shown on the screen there. I don't think it does. If it does, then you missed out on the visual. Okay, so basically we've kind of evened up the cube drawing to French 6, Russians 5, and now the French get their 7th. And the 3rd Dragoons and the 2nd Dragoons I haven't activated. And of course I want to retire the 2nd Cuirassiers. So I think that may be what I'm going to do, is pull them back. I also have Grouchy that I want to activate. So let's do this with the Deho Pool, and retire, I think is what they have. Yeah. So with the retire order, units may move 1.5 times their movement, but must move away from the enemy. They can't end their movement closer to, let's see. So no unit may be closer to enemy unit at the end of the movement than at the beginning of it. No unit may fire in the simultaneous fire phase. One unit of the division may regain 1 strength point at the end of the activation segments. So 1.5 movement. So they're gonna try to really pull back quite a ways here. So probably in this area here is where they want to come to. So let's see. A few of them is going to be easy. So let's start with these easy ones. So we've got this artillery unit. Okay. And with movement, you round down instead of up. So this artillery unit has a movement of 7. Okay. So 3.5. So they've got a movement of 10. So they use 2 to limber. Okay. And then they're going to move. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, down slope 7, 8. Okay. And then 9, 10. So they go to there. All right. These cuirassiers here are going to turn. And so 6, half of 6 is 3, so they've got 9. So they turn like this. Uphill 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Now the other ones here, let's see if we can come from a different angle here. Of course, I'm going to have to do something about that lamp over there. Well, if I point it that way, no, it ain't going to work. Is it this? No, it ain't this. It's this over here. There we go. All right, so I've got these other two here that are going to have to leave a frontal hex. This unit has all-around hex, front hexes due to being in that village. So they're going to turn. Okay, and then as they leave, they're going to be fired on by these units. Okay, opportunity to fire, and they have a strength of 2. Okay, infantry has a strength of 2 when firing from an obstructed terrain, and there's no modifiers. Ooh, and I got an 11. That's a hit. So, taking 3 hits now. All right. So, so their movement is 9. So 1, take the hit. Oops. All right, so they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9. So they go to there. Okay. And then this one here, I think they were turned like this. All right, so these guys here turning. Okay. Now when they leave, of course those guys can fire, and this square that can fire. Plus, see, and this is Dale Pool, second current the cuirassiers. Okay. Plus this artillery, and the infantry only has 1 strength. Okay. But still, that's going to be a. So we'll do that. We'll do the infantry here first. Okay. In line, they've got a strength of 2 times 2 is 4. So that no, they've only got 1 strength. So that's going to be just a 2. No modifiers. I'm going to let a 2. I rolled double snake eyes. All right, so now with the artillery is strength of 2. Jason is times 4. So that's 8. And I rolled a 9. So that's going to be a hit. So now the unit has 4. And now the square will fire, strength of 2. Okay, I rolled a 4, no hit. All right. So the unit has a movement potential of total of 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, going down slope, 4, 5, up slope 6, 7, and then 8, 9. So hot pool will move to here. That way he's within range of all of his units. So, alright, so his activation's finished. Okay, so let's draw another cube. Oh, another French. Alright, so we want to, let's see, we got the 3rd and the 2nd division. Rachi hasn't done anything yet. The 3rd. Milhad could use him. Let's see what he's got going on. Let's see. Here he is. He's got 2 up here that are out of command. So I really need to pull those guys back. Of course, this guy here is out of command too. Basically, it's really, instead of attacking anything, we're just kind of regrouping. Excuse me. Need to be able to do something against some of this some of these squares, but I don't have the infantry to go in there and hit them. I don't have what I need. What the French need is they need to be able to activate the 7th Corps infantry to get in there and attack those squares, but they have hold orders at the present time. I don't want to waste Grouchy yet, so we'll just put a hold on those. And so we can either go with the guard again. I don't think I want to do that yet. So basically, I've got, I can move, let's see, I guess I can move Friant around some more. I can also activate Klein again. But decisions. LeGrand, what has he got? His orders are third. He's got defend orders. Just looking at everything, trying to figure out what I'm going to do here. Okay, over there. I've got I think I'm gonna activate Friant right here. Okay, let's activate him. So let's get in here. He has the second division. So let's put these orange cubes on some of these that are not his. Okay, that's third division. Third division. Of course, that's third division. Third division. That's his. Okay, and then back this other way. That's first. That's first. So that kind of tells us who's who. Makes it easier to distinguish which ones we're dealing with. All right, so need to get some more squares set up over there. So we've got to try to do something against that. This is a pretty strong Hussar unit here with 350, about 350 troopers. Okay, horses. Right here. So that's a pretty strong regiment. So I've got 2 regiments, but they've both been reduced. So I got my Chasseurs à Cheval right here. They have 250. Okay, here's some more Chasseurs, and they've got about 200. So we're talking about 400. Well, I guess he's got like 350. The Russians, but he could reaction charge whichever cavalry unit approached him first. But I've got one that can move in behind him. Well, either one of them could move in behind him. And then we could attack him from the front too. All right, so we just pull up a little tighter here. Especially on these. Okay, so there's the cavalry units. Okay, so this unit here, okay, we'll go 1, 2, 3, and then turn 3, 4, 5. Okay, he cannot reaction charge because this is his rear. Okay, now this unit here will now come in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now he can't reaction charge because he's pinned. Okay. All right. Now you cannot use infantry or cavalry together. You can't have an infantry and cavalry assault charge. They've got to do their business separate. So, okay, what I want to do is I want to move. Okay, also, let's see, I got another unit here that's not, this unit here is 3rd Division. This is part of Udine's group. So, I want to move, let's move this unit here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. And then of course I have to change them like this. All right. And then this unit here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And no, wait a minute. This is their 2nd activation. So maybe they of course they can't go that far. Yeah, let me start this again. Okay. So he was, see there? And this one was sitting, I think he was either here here? I think he was here. Let me do this again. I think maybe he was there. No. Okay, let's do this again. Okay, second activation. Infantry and artillery -1, cavalry -2. So those cavalry units only have a movement of 6. Okay. So I can't remember if he was here, here, or here. We're going to put him right there. I think this guy was here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Start with 2. We start with 2. Start with 2, 3, 4. Let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, they can reach. This unit, of course, can just go straight up here. 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like so. All right, so they were able to get there. Okay. Now the infantry here, though. Okay. 1, 2. Well, they start with 1. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, as far as he can go. And then this one here. Start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They could actually move one more. Right there. Okay, we pull back. So freehand here. So we start at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's just going to stay right there. And then the guns here. We better just stay. These guys are going to have to stay. Not moving them. And then the square. Well, no, I can move them. See this square here, though. I can move him. So, okay. So 1, for the second activation, 2 for formation change, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They didn't get very far. And then these guys, I better leave them there. So, all right, so that's what we've got, and we end up with an assault, or a charge actually, with these 2 units. Oh, sorry, not this one, that one. Okay, so we've got this unit here has a strength of 4. And then here we've got 5, so we've got 9, okay, against 7. So that's 1 to 1. Okay. Okay, 1 to 1. No one's elite. Defenders not elite. They are Russian though, so that's +1. They have attack orders. Charge for more than 1 hex, or okay, so now that's -1, so we're at 0. Okay, charge to the rear, that's -2. I think that's where it's going to be, -2. Yep, -2. Five becomes a 3, so they are going to have to retreat, take a loss, and retreat. Wow, they're going to take quite a few extra losses. So if we pull back, all right, we're going to see, okay, so they've got 1 loss. I'm going to just put that 1 loss right there. Okay, so this is their loss. Okay, now they've got to move to here, so right there. They moved into that hex. Now they've got to continue. So they got to move a total of 4 hexes. So that's 1 hex. Okay. If they move here, back up this way, that's 2 more losses. Okay. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 1, 2. Either way, they're going to have another loss. 2, 3. And then, you know, they're going to end up, so I think they're going to have to go like that. So that's 2, okay, but that's 3, 4, okay, losses. Okay, movement, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, flip them over. But they're going to have losses, okay, 1 loss for the charge. That's 2, 3, 4. So we're going to have 4 losses. And somebody can move into there. Move that one. All right. Oops. Oops. All right, so look out across here. Second division. So that's what we're looking at here. Just the overall image there from the French side. Didn't have any units that were removed. So far, the key for the armor fatigue so far is going to be over here where the Russians were able to reclaim this village right here that's worth 10. Okay, with the help of Walentin's Center Cavalry, Kaminsky was able to move some infantry over to that village and oust the French, and now they kind of sealed that open flank for the time being. So the Russians' attempt to exploit that had been curtailed, and if you look up, both armies have no really reserves. Okay, basically what the French have is Grouchy and Desjardins. That's it. Okay, and of course they're waiting for Ney to show up. But over here on the Russian side, you really all they have is Markov over here that hasn't done anything, and his job is going to be come over here and try to stop Ney's forces. So anywhere along the line could be the point where one army is able to exploit a gap and either take some objectives or destroy some units that's going to cause the other army's fatigue to drop, so that they will rout, leave the battle, so forth. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to have quite a few. We still have quite a few cubes to draw. If you look here, the Russian board at the top, they've used that's 4 or 5. They've had 5 activations, and the French have had 8. So the French have 69 fatigue points, and the Russians have 72. Is that right? Oh, wait a minute. No. 60. They've got 72. That's 369. So 69, I think. Do we have the same thing up here? Yeah, it's identical. So we are exactly even in fatigue points. Exactly, right? Yeah. Yep. 69. Well, if you have any comments about what's happened so far, maybe you have a question about the rules, or how I'm applying the rules, or how the system works, or how I feel about the system, I try to be sure and explain that and let you know how I feel as I'm playing along. But I'm enjoying this system, and to me, I think it's very solo friendly because of the chit pool, the cube pool. Okay, so basically a chit pool, but the cubes, the orders, very solo friendly. And as I've said before, this would be an amazing simulation with multiple players, maybe 4 to 6 or 8 players to a side, where you could really get some some interesting play with players, demanding activations from their commander, and also possibly, just trying to change their own orders. Where they're not getting order changes from their overall commander, but they say, hey, I want to do this. I don't want to sit out this. I want to be doing something. Although the army commander is the one given the cubes, during activation, Bennington's the one saying, okay, hey, I'm giving you orders to attack, or I'm giving you an activation. Do what you're going to do. So could be some interesting discussions. So that would be really meant probably at a convention maybe, or as I've said, when I was teaching, which I'm not doing anymore, but if I was, this would be something I could easily do, even though, with all the pieces and everything, you've got to have the space to set it up and leave it set up where it doesn't get moved. But it would probably be something that you would do after hours. Maybe you have a weekend where there's no, maybe a Saturday when there's not a lot of other activities going on. You say, hey, you come up, we'll have pizza, and we'll play along as far as we can. If you could set it up, you say, okay, next weekend, or maybe after school some night or something. And you could really get the kids interested in history with something like this. I used flat top, in class with some seniors. Might have been juniors. I think it was juniors, and they really enjoyed it. So. And it's an easy. There's not a lot of complexity to it. That's all. The complexity is all integrated into the rules. It's not a lot of complexity in figuring the fire combat, the assaults or the charges. You just have the chart here, and you look through that, and so. Very, very easy to learn, and easy to play. So I just enjoy looking at the map. Like I said, I could hang this up on my wall, get me a big enough frame, and you put it on 2 separate poster frames, I guess. Set it in the corner here, like going this way and then this way. Got this poster here. This is a Marlboro man, and this is my grandfather's brother, Reese. Last name is Newcomb, Reese Newcomb. He was a real cowboy, and I think what they needed horses. So he brought for the picture. This is on to Oklahoma. It's I need to put a map behind it. America's Frontier Lake State. This was a tourism poster that they handed out. And like I said, the guy here is a Marlboro man, one of the Marlboro models. And they wanted some horses. This is Foss Lake in the background. I don't think it's part of Custer County, but it's close to where the Newcombs, not too far from where the Newcombs lived. Okay, there's still some Newcombs up there, but let me take this down here so you can, and then this thing here, let's turn that way. So, but so I guess this would be like a great uncle, I guess. grandfather's brother was just happened to be in the right place at the right time. And of course, he looked like a cowboy because he was one. And so he brought the horses in. And since he did that, I said, well, why don't you get on a horse there and be on the background? So I think that was back in the 80s, yeah, when this was taken. And so we were able to get quite a few of them and give to our family. So this is on my mother's side. So, but it's just kind of neat to see one of your relatives up on a poster that they used for tourism. And you know exactly where the picture was taken, you know what the lake is, you know who's here. This guy, I didn't know his name, but I remember getting a bunch of these posters. I was probably a teenager at the time, so, but there it is. Okay, didn't mean to bring that all up into the discussion here, but so I gotta get a new camera holder here. This is getting ridiculous. So I'm gonna have to do that this afternoon. Look for one. See what I can find. All right, so we still got if you look in here, there's looks like there's more red than blue, but we've got the two simultaneous fires. We've still got lots of red and blue cubes to be drawn for this hour. So this hour is far from being over. So we've got 8 blue, 7 green, and then 2 red. So what is that, 17 left. So I've still got 17 after I've already, well, that's 13 that I've used. Yeah, 13 have been played, and I've still got 17 more to go. So not even really halfway done, but of course the last 2 won't be used. So I guess unless they're both red, and then the one will be drawn. So if I said 8 and 7, 17. So really 15 more possible activations, which is a lot. So we've still got a lot of maneuvering and fighting going to happen in this hour. And so I'll pick up there. The French have had 2 activations in a row. So if they happen to get the next one, then the one after that would either have to be red or green. So I suggest you go check out Sound of Drums. It's a small company in Switzerland. You can find their products already over here in the States. You can actually buy Eylau 1807 over here. Different gaming sites will have it. But check them out at soundoddrumsgames.com. That you find all the links. The website might actually still be under construction, but you can still click on the links, and you can also put in whatever search engine you're using, throw up Sound of Drums or Eylau 1807, and you can find where to purchase the game and other components. And don't forget to go check a look at chessix.com. And like I said, they have more than just dice, so go check them out. And also don't forget about the 3 dice sets that I'm giving away. And that information will be provided in the last video. So catch you in the next one. I'll thank you for your support, and don't forget to throw a comment in there about something, and I'll respond back. Maybe we can get a good discussion going about Napoleonic tactical games, or maybe just something about this game. But I am very happy that I pulled the trigger on this. When I saw it, I thought, well, number one, it was very unique in several aspects. And the main aspect that I found very interesting was what's over here on these two boards, and the way this worked, and how it affected the game. So, and I really like the NATO symbols. Probably they were called something else. Maybe another term was maybe used, but just the simple symbols for cavalry, for artillery. Actually, they don't use the circle here, but they use little pictures, images of cannon. But infantry in line and column is pretty simplified. It's much like the Gamers Napoleonic Brigade, okay, in that aspect. Okay, other than that, there's not much comparison between this game and that, other than maybe facing, but even the facing is different in what's regarded as front, flank, rear, and so forth. So there's minor comparisons that you can make regarding things, but you know, you're going to have a lot of the things that are the same when you have a tactical Napoleonic Brigade game. You know, facing, okay, fire, assaults, charges, okay, different formations. You're going to have that. That's basic. So just giving you an overshot kind of what we have here going on. So come on back, see what happens, and like I said, appreciative of the support, and kind of hoping that maybe the views on this will pick up. Maybe the long run times discourage people from, people don't have a lot of time to spend, but you can fast forward. Some point I'll get to where I can edit. I think I'm going to have a separate camera and do all that through a computer rather than through my phone. So, but yeah, I've got the YouTube app for I don't know what it's called. It's you can analyze. There's a lot of things you can analyze and look at on that app, whatever it's called. But anyways, at some point maybe I'll get to where I can edit and cut down so much of the dead time, so the videos are a lot less runtime. But you can always just do your fast forward finger and do it that way. So come on back, see what happens. Thanks.